Hey, it's travelgigolo and we are in Hluhluwe iMfolozi Provincial Park. Durban's the closest major city and getting here from Durban's about a 3-hour drive. So being the oldest game reserve in Africa, there's a rich heritage associated with the Hluhluwe iMfolozi Park. These were previously two separate game reserves and they've been joined up by merging through the corridor that was between them. So it's now approximately 95,000 hectares, which is quite a sizable game reserve. So one of the really cool facts about the Hluhluwe iMfolozi game reserve is that this is, in modern times, the home of the white rhino. Around the turn of the 19th century, the southern white rhino had been hunted almost to extinction. There were just a bit more than 20 individuals that were still alive, and these were in this park. And since that time they've managed to resuscitate that population to a significant degree. In fact, to the extent that almost all, if not all, the white rhino that you will see today are in some way related to that ancestry within this park of just 20 or so individuals. Being located in Northern KZN, it's quite green here, so the park's quite lush, especially now when it's rained quite significantly over the summer season. The luscious and the fairly dense vegetation in some areas of the park do make it a little bit difficult to spot the wildlife, but that means you've got to drive slowly and take your time and really keep a sharp eye out. We're here over the Easter holiday weekend and it's remarkably quiet. There are cars driving around the reserve, but we haven't seen a lot. It's not Kruger type traffic. So that is a bit surprising because it's really a beautiful place. So I'm surprised that there aren't more people coming here. The gate times and the time that we are here are 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and this is officially autumn time. Getting here is pretty much along the N2 and then turning off to drive to one of the gates. So a lot of it is highway and pretty good highway to get to the area. However, from the N2 highway to Nyalazi Gate is where we came in. There is quite a bit of road work and then some of that road is through rural areas as well. So there are animals on the road and that sort of thing, which is not unusual for Southern Africa in particular and the places that we've driven to and visited. At the time we've driven here, there are roadworks on the way to the Nyalazi Gate, and so it's probably better to come through Memorial Gate if you're coming here around this time when those roadworks are still in effect. But it's really quite easy to get here, so I am surprised that there aren't more people coming to this park, especially given that it's a big 5 game reserve. The roads on the Hluhluwe side of the park are not quite as good as the iMfolozi side, so they haven't been as well maintained. So some of the dirt roads, especially in the steep sections, have been eroded somewhat, and there are areas where, for example, if you had a car with lowish clearance, you probably wouldn't be able to traverse easily. So it has rained quite a bit this season, and perhaps this is not the normal situation. Maybe we're just here at the end of the rainy season and so we're seeing the situation at its worst. However, we're driving a basic city sedan, a Suzuki Swift, which doesn't have fantastic clearance but doesn't have bad clearance either, and there are some areas where we've got to proceed with quite a bit of caution. Most of the roads in the iMfolozi Park are dirt roads. They're not that bad, they're actually quite traversable. We're traversing them in a small city sedan. We haven't had any issues so far. There is a 4x4 trail as well. We're obviously not going to do it because we don't have a vehicle to do it, but generally the roads have been pretty good. I don't think we've been across a section of road that was horrible or anything to that effect. There is evidence of recent grading of the road and there is quite a bit of work that's been done on the drainage as well. So the roads are in pretty decent shape. There is a main road, if I can call it that, that's a tar road that stretches from the Memorial Gate south through to Mpila Camp in iMfolozi. So if you want to stick to the tar road, then you could probably do that. But I think if you want to get the full benefit of the park and the varying habitats, then you do want to go on these dirt roads. So the wildlife viewing has been great, but in addition to that, the birding has been really cool as well. And I think this is not an area that we are particularly familiar with, so we've seen quite a few new bird species that we haven't seen before. Now we're here at the tail end of summer going into autumn. It's still pretty warm, it's quite humid. There was a bit of rain last night, for example, and so the bird life is still quite prolific. So that's one of the benefits of coming here in the lush sort of season. I suppose if you come here in the winter time, it's a bit drier. You'll probably get to see quite a bit more in respect of the large wildlife. This is a Big 5 game reserve, and it's one of those places I think where you're very likely to see rhinoceros. So we've seen quite a few. We don't put those on the channel, of course, because, well, for obvious reasons. When we came here previously, we stayed in Mtuba, which is a little bit of a drive to get up and down to the park and back in the evening as well. So this time we're staying within the park, we're staying at Mpila, and I'll do a separate review on that accommodation, which has been pretty good so far. The benefit, of course, of staying in the park is that you can get out very early in the morning, so 6 a.m. when the gates open, and you can stay out all the way until 6 p.m. when the gates close again. So that's pretty nice, because that's typically when you get the best wildlife viewing, is those early hours of the morning and in the late hours of the afternoon as well. So I've really enjoyed the Hluhluwe iMfolozi game reserve. The last time we came here in the midst of a cyclone, so it was raining and we didn't really get to see much. This time we really got to experience it a lot better. It's been nice and warm. It's been a bit cloudy and maybe a little bit rainy a bit of the time, but other than that, it's been quite warm. And a couple of the days that we've been here, it's been hot and sunny. So it's been a really good experience. So I want to say that it's weird that there aren't more people coming here, because we're here over the Easter weekend and there really isn't much traffic. However, it is quite lush, and so it's difficult to see the wildlife. But having said that, we're in that part of the country. We're in Northern KZN, it's warm, it's almost tropical, and so the vegetation is lush. So, you know, this is the nature of the region and the climate and the vegetation. So it's a really nice park as far as we're concerned, and we've seen a significant amount of rhino, for example, which has been great, and elephant. We haven't seen any of the big cats or any wild dog or hyenas, and we have heard of sightings of them, but we haven't seen them ourselves. But the vegetation is very lush, and so, you know, it's not easy to see these things. So I hope you found this informative. I hope you liked the episode. Please do hit the like button if you did. Also subscribe, and until the next episode, go everywhere, see everything, have a great time.